Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, open test is out, and of course this next update features the Italian tank destroyers. So we're going to have a look at all the Italian tank destroyers that are being introduced. We're not going to play any games. However, we are going to look through the stats. The reason we're not going to play any games because the update will be out in the next few weeks, and then we will obviously do a full review after I play the tanks and after I get a feel of them as well. But today we're just going to have a look at the tanks and my opinion on the tanks and how I think they're going to be played. So of course this update, the Italian tank destroyers are starting from tier 5 and they go all the way up to tier 10. Now, I'm probably going to butcher some of these names, so I do apologize for that. But we're going to start off on tier 5, the Semovente M41. Yeah, it looks kind of cute, to be honest. Some of the higher tier tanks, especially from tier 8, I've just had a battle in the tier 8. The replays wasn't on, sadly, because I forgot, and the armor profiles on these look absolutely insane. So the tier 5 version now only has a tier 5 gun, so I'm not expecting it to be absolutely amazing, but let's just have a look. So hit points 580, the hull is 110, so even there the hull isn't too bad for a tier 5. 110 is not too bad at all. DPM 1433, that gives it a 6.7 second reload. Penetration 145 on your AP and 202 on your heat. So for a tier 5, 202 millimeters of pen should just get through just about anything with that. And you've got 38 on your HE. You've got 160 alpha, and you've got 135 on your heat, 200 on your HE. Aim time not the best at 4.2, dispersion not the best at 0.345, and it has 7 degrees of gun depression. The speed is 44 kilometers per hour. So to be honest, just the average tank, to be honest. It doesn't look fantastic, doesn't look useless. I can't see this being that fun to play, if I'm honest. Moving up to tier 6, we have the Bazota. Again, it's let's just go back so we can actually see the tank. So yeah, again, it's quite a big tank, quite flat. The armor's quite flat. I'm assuming either side of the gun is going to be quite weak, and the bottom plate will probably be quite weak as well. And again, 950 hit points. Armor, it starts to get better from here at 132 on your hull. And again, when we review these tanks, we will look at them through Blitz Hang Up, because there it will show you all the effective armor and just how good some of this armor profile is. DPM 1487. The reload time is 12.10 seconds. Penetration is 172 on your AP, 239 on your heat, and 50 on your HE. Of course, if you are running it with calibrated shells, you can get that up to 263 millimeters. 263 millimeters for a tier 6 tank. I think, again, that will get through just about anything. You've got a 300 alpha, 260 on your heat, and 350 on your HE. Aim time, however, look at that, 7.1 seconds. 7.1 seconds, absolutely awful. The dispersion is 0.459 as well. So yeah, that's not going to be a great tank in my opinion, just because of the aim time and that dispersion. Speed also 42 kilometers per hour. So yeah, it's going to be a nice gun tank, I should imagine. But it's not going to be really enjoyable with that massive aim time. I think it'll be quite a boring tank. Moving on to tier 7, we got the smvcc 56, and again, I would probably run it with calibrated shells. All these, because they are auto-load, or a lot of them going up the line are auto-loaders, I would run it with the calibrated shells just to up that penetration. Now, you can see here, it took me ages to work out what the hell is this symbol up here. And I've had a look. I thought, okay, maybe it's something. Is it something new? Is it something new that we haven't seen? But looking into it, I think it is just the auto reloader. It's I played it, and they do have auto reloading guns where you can reload one shell if you want 2 shells. So I think that is what this that mark there is. So yeah, it confused me. So tier 7 again. From these tanks, you can from sort of tier 7, you can decide whether you want it if you want to run it with the auto loader, or if you want to run it with just a single shot gun. So with the auto loader, let's just have a look. So so here you got the turret armor for this tier 7 tank is 250 millimeters, and the hull is 210. So the armor profile is very, very, very good. DPM. Wait, what? Did I just get that wrong? Deep damage per minute? Surely 933? Seriously? Is something wrong? I don't know if that's actually something wrong, or if that is actually what it is. But yeah, 933. I think that is yeah, that is what it is. Not good DPM there for the for this SMV, but of course that is. You can get more DPM if you are running it with, if you reload all 3 shells, shoot, etc. Because if you shoot all 3 shells, you have to wait 27.65 seconds for a reload. That is a long time, and that's just to reload 1 shell. 1 shell. You've then got to wait another 6.9 seconds for the second, and then 5.76. So of course, when you are running it with this, you don't really want to be shooting that last shell. You have to save that last shell. By all means, do whatever you have to do, but to save that last shell, you have to. Only then will your DPM increase. But yeah, if you're just shooting that last shell all the time, yeah, 900. And that is, I think, what that DPM is if you're just reloading the last shell and then firing it, reload, firing it, because that's 27 seconds. So not good at all. The DPM on that is 933, but however, if you run it with the single shotgun, the DPM does go up to 1,699. So still not the best of DPMs, but I think it's a lot better than 900. So I think a lot of people will probably use these guns, use these tanks with the single fire gun. That's maybe I might be wrong. So you've got 3 shells, of course, in your magazine, 218 on your standard AP, 277 on your heat. Again, if you're running with calibrated shells, you can probably get that up a little bit. Nope, you can't, because that is with calibrated shells. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough one. That is going to be a tough tank if you are running it with that gun. So let's just have a look at what the higher tier tanks. So I've just played this. I've had 1 battle in it, and again, the armor profile on this tank is insane. There isn't a lot of weak points, just the lower plate, but it's a thin strip. Literally, it's a thin strip on your lower plate that they can penetrate. Other than that, it is a very, very difficult tank to penetrate, and these are going to be very, very strong when it comes on the battlefield, especially if you are top tier. So this tank, if you're running it with the single fire gun, you do have 2,133. However, if you're running it with the auto reloading gun, you've only got, where are we, 995. So these are very, very low, and because of how low the DPM is, most people, I should imagine, is going to run it with the single shot gun. 2,133. Yeah, it's not great, to be honest. 11.5 seconds reload. Penetration 225 on your AP, 281 on your heat, and 60 on your HE. You've got a 410 alpha gun, 350 on your heat, 525 on your HE, and you have 11 degrees of gun depression. That's, oh no, that's turret. sorry, my bad, that's not gun depression. Your gun depression, no, actually it is 11 degrees of gun depression, which is very, very nice. 11 degrees of gun depression, wow, fantastic. So with the armor profile, I think this one could be one of the best tanks. I haven't really played, I've played one battle and I've seen how hard it is to penetrate this. So you can, if you're on a ridge with 11 degrees of gun depression, with the armor profile that you have, this tank, I believe, is going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So the speed, 38 kilometers per hour as well, but the average speed you can see is 11. So it is a quite a slow tank. If you don't look at that as 38, it does feel very, very sluggish. So this tank for me is going to be one to watch out for. This tier 8 is going to be insane. Moving on to tier 9, we have the CC1 Mark II, and again, let's have a look how low. Now these are going to be a shame, because you don't have that option with the gun. Both guns of this are the auto reloading guns. However, the armor profile on this, I don't mind the low DPM, because the armor profile makes up for it, because you're going to bounce a lot of shots in these tanks. So you've got 265 millimeters on your turret, 245 on your hull, and again, that is just base armor. You can get that much higher as with effective armor. So DPM very, very low, probably the lowest in tier 9, I should imagine, at just 1200. Reload in between each shot is 3.5 seconds in between each shell, and again, just like I've said earlier, you do not want to be shooting all three shells. If you reload one shell, you have almost a 30-second reload, and then you shoot again another 30 second. So you reload 2 shells, all 3 shells. So if you've got all 3 shells loaded, then the first shell is going to take, or the third shell is going to take 13.6 seconds, then the second shell 16 seconds, so, and then the first shell 29 seconds. So you do not want to be firing that last shell, because again, 30 seconds every time that you do. So do bear that in mind. Penetration 259 on your AP, 326 on your heat, and 65 on your HE. Average damage, you got a 450 alpha, 390 on your heat, and 640 on your HE. Again, aim time very, very poor at 7.3, and the dispersion 0.484. So not good at all. But you do have 13 degrees of gun depression. 13 degrees, so these tanks are literally sit on a ridge and do not move. Sit on a nice ridge and don't move at all. Reload them shells and just sit there. Just don't move an inch. So that brings us on to the Minotauro, the tank that everyone's going to be trying to get. Now, this tank is nice. I have played this tank, I've tested the tank, and it is very, very nice. And again, it's a tank with armor, especially when it comes to tank destroyers. But again, you can't change your gun. You have to use it with the auto loader. But this tank, you have 240 millimeters on your turret, but also you have 270 on your hull. Again, effective armor is going to be much higher than that, depending on how far you're sort of on a ridge, anything like that, or how you're angled. DPM, again, probably the lowest. It has to be the lowest in tier 10 at 1497. Reload in between each shell, pretty much the same as the tier 9. 27 seconds, 27 and a half seconds for that first shell, 12.6 for the second, and 11.5. So just as I've been saying, if you're going to play these tanks, you have to try and keep that last shell as much as you can. Like, some people will be looking, thinking, I need to take this shot. Normally with auto loaders, I recommend, if you've got a shot, take it, because your reload's not that high to reload the shell. But these tanks, you have to try your hardest not to take that last shot, by all means. So the penetration 289 on your AP, and 352 on your heat, 72 on your HE. You've got 490 alpha on your AP, 410 on your heat, and 630 on your HE, which is very, very nice. Aim time is slightly lower than the others, but still high at 6.3, and the dispersion is slightly higher than the others at 0.507, and this one you only have 10 degrees of gun depression. I say only, that's still amazing, but compared to 13 and 11, it's not as much. But yeah, I mean, they're going to be weird tanks. They're going to be hard tanks to get used to. It all depends on how people want to play it. If they want to play it with shooting all the shells, they're just going to get torn apart. So yeah, I would always, if you're playing these tanks, do not fire that last shell. Keep it as long as you can. Unless it's to kill a tank and you've got no one around you, then of course you're going to fire it. But you've just got to remember, the DPM is not good on these tanks when you are doing it like that. So let me know what tank you're looking forward to the most. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the tier 8. I think the tier 8 is going to be super, super strong. The fact that you can use it as a single shotgun as well, just to up that DPM. You've got all that gun depression and you've got that armor to go with it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsyreplays and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Quick one edited in before I go. So I did find out what this marker means. Reserve the ammo, as we've been talking about, where I've just said in the whole video, do not shoot your last shell. That is what this is all about. It's reserve the ammo. So it's basically telling you there, do not shoot that last shell in case of emergency. So that is what this these markers mean. The reserve ammo, the tank mechanics reserve ammo. This marker here actually is telling you, do not shoot that shell. So thanks, guys. See you soon. With